Alright, Doom Vivemus Vivamus Epicureans, this is the Marvel Epic Collection Podcast One-Shot Edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'm joined by...
Stojr from Stojr Shelf. How's it going, Nick?
I'm doing well. We are participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club, and this one-shot will be our brief thoughts on today's issue, which is X-Men number 94. Alright, you ready, Stojr?
Yep, let's do it.
Alright, this is the Doomsmith scenario, plotted by Len Wein, written by Chris Claremont, with art by Dave Cockrum and inks by Bob McLeod. The original X-Men say goodbye, while Cyclops stays behind to train the new team. However, Count Nefaria, and let me tell you, I always thought it was Count Nefaria, but I heard Rob Milne of the Marvel by the Month podcast say that he had done some research and found some animated show, and it's apparently Nefaria in some cartoon. I don't know. I prefer Nefaria.
Yeah, I never pronounced it that way in my head.
Yeah, it looks like Nefaria, and I like that better, but I guess Nefaria? I don't know. Anyway, Count Nefaria and his Animen succeed in infiltrating NORAD and take control of all of the U.S.'s nuclear arsenal. Nefaria, whatever, he demands a ransom from the world, or he's going to launch all of the United States nukes. So the X-Men fly out to Colorado to stop Nefaria, but Nefaria succeeds in shooting down their plane as they approach. Thoughts on this issue, Stojr?
Yeah, so any issue that has the Animen in it is a little odd for me. This is still kind of has a flavor of pre-Claremont, pre-reboot, old school X-Men. You got, Nefaria, as I say it I'm not even going to be able to repronounce it
Sure.
that quickly with this new knowledge. I as a kid, I also pronounced Cletus Cassidy as Celius or something in my head because I never heard of anybody called Cletus. So the names are a little bit weird. It's interesting that that they're getting rid of X-Men already so quickly. Sent Sunfire on his way within the first couple of pages. He kind of seems like a fun guy. I do love that Banshee sticks around. Maybe it's just because of my Irish heritage that you have that that you get an Irishman on the team. But I enjoyed the issue. It still feels like it has a bit of that sort of old school 60s Marvel stuff. But it's starting to steer out of it a little bit. How about yourself?
Yeah, I thought this was a decent enough bridge to send out the old team and confirm that the New Mutants are going to be making up this team. I need to be careful with that phrase, New Mutants. That means something else in the X world. But this new group now, they're going to be the new team. Mm-hmm. That was great. I love the training montage on page 48. I thought that was awesome. And it does the job of quickly showing how they start to learn and how they begin working together. And, you talking about when you were a kid... thinking of how Cletus Cassidy's name was pronounced differently. I always thought Magneto was Magneto when I was a kid, so, it's what it is, right?
Yeah, and, when I think of, like, Count Nefaria, I always get him mixed up with Gravitron, too, when I'm thinking about old school sort of, like, Avengers villains and things like that. So, to me, he's a bit of another, forgettable villain. I'm trying to remember what other storylines he's been in. And then I always think, just mix him up in my head with Gravitron. So sort of this, king or person from another nation that, is this mustache twirly evil person. I also don't remember if it's in this issue or not. But there's everybody. They really still lean into the multicultural, you're coming from a different part of the world type of stuff, whether it's, nicknames for Banshee or just the way that Professor X talks to, Warpath and things like that. So there's definitely this, everybody's put into a pigeonhole of like what country you're from and how you're represented.
Right, and that just kind of defines their personality a bit. But, for the 70s, mid-70s, that's move in a more interesting direction when they're all just kids from New York, right? Like the original
Yeah, no,
X-Men.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And for for this being early Wolverine on the team and how popular he is, he's very much a background character. Like he pops up
Hmm.
for a couple words here and there, but he's not stealing the show at this point, which I think is great.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, cool. Well, I do have a no prize award to issue for this issue. The Visit Colorado Springs Tourist Board has bestowed a joint award upon Chris Claremont and Dave Cochran. This award honors the most inaccurate representation of the Rocky Mountain Front Range in a comic book for their depiction of Cheyenne Mountain, the home of NORAD. In this issue, the mountain is referred to as Valhalla, the home of the gods, or Death Mountain, which is not its name. NORAD is in Cheyenne Mountain. The issue says that it is 40 miles west of Colorado Springs. It's not. It's 7 miles south. And it says it thrusts 2 miles into the air, which, okay, the elevation of the peak is about 2 miles, but the starting elevation is about 6,500 feet, so there really isn't much thrust width there. Cheyenne Mountain actually has a lovely park. There's also a zoo with a world-class giraffe breeding program. I highly recommend it. And maybe I'm taking this one a bit more personal because that's the city where I grew up. So,
Well, there you go. And they didn't have the internet back then, so we'll give them
exactly.
a little bit of a pass. Claremont and Ween didn't, want to go out to the library and look all those facts up, and they didn't assume anybody else would either.
Fair enough. Yeah, Death Mountain sounds a lot cooler. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is it for today's issue. If you have enjoyed our thoughts, by all means follow us on YouTube, where we will read, rate, and review the full Epic Collection trade paperbacks every other week. I will add that we're going to have a little bit of a programming change. We were going to discuss Morbius this coming Sunday. We're going to have to push that off a week for personal reasons. All right. Anything else you want to add,
We're
Stojer?
getting these in between. Getting these in between though.
That's right.
So,
That's right. We're
the content keeps on coming. So, nope. Find me at Stojr Shelf on YouTube, TikTok, all the Reddit, Facebook, all those platforms.
all right. Thanks for watching, guys.